Welcome to For Love and Play. I'm matchmaker comic Yael Meisel. With me is comedians Keenan Weaver and Louie B. For Love and Play, the show about dating like a goddamn adult. We're going to discuss who to spend your time with for love or for play. Let's do it, boys.
This show contains adult content for entertainment purposes. Listener discretion is advised.
Not a doctor.
Hey everybody, this is For Love and Play. I'm Louie B. Keenan is not here today, but I am joined with the lovely, talented, and beautiful Yael Meisel.
What's up, sons?
And today we're going to be talking about religious dating. We are also privileged to be joined with the lovely and talented Paul Schiss.
Oh, yes, it's Paul Schissler, but I'll take Paul Schiss, too. That sounds cooler, honestly.
Paulie Schissler?
Paul, you can call me whatever you want, so long as it's not me.
How you doing, Paulie? Thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you for having me. This is great. I love the mornings, so this is perfect.
I've been setting people up according to practical life partner for the past 12 years. And I think for me, religion is one of those stop it no further. Like, if we can't agree on this topic, this is a closed issue. And I'm sure I get knocked around for this all the time. People lose value when you don't pray or connect to the creator of your universe together. In my humble opinion, you have a marriage built on quicksand or a relationship built on quicksand.
I agree.
And from what I understand, that this is a big, an area of concern and priority for you as well. So why don't you maybe share with us a little bit about you, who you are, start there.
I'm like, it's so good and refreshing to hear someone else kind of express that, how important that is, because I'm a super Christian dude, born and raised in the South, and I was raised in the church, and I'm still in the church. I'm still active in the church. It worked on me. Still believe it and love it, and everyone gets married when they're like 20. I had so many friends get married in college, and not that I don't have a set age for, like, I can't be married before this age, or I have to be married before this age. If the right person comes along, I want to get married to that person. I'm one of those Christians that's saving themselves till marriage, so I'm extra excited about marriage.
Wait a minute.
I think that's really amazing. And now you're in how long have you been doing stand-up?
Like 3.5 years. Yeah.
So do you, if you mind me asking, what kind of Christian are you? What flavor?
I was raised Methodist, but up in the city I go to a Presbyterian church, and they're pretty similar. It's great because I love the church I go to up here because it's very challenging in the sense of, like, if you have doubts and questions, you should pursue those and not just go to church and accept whatever you hear. Like, pursue your doubts and embrace it and really get your hands dirty. And that's, that helps, honestly, with stuff like saving myself till marriage, because it's kind of like, if you believe this, then are you going to commit to making sacrifices? Are you going to commit to kind of going against the flow, or, getting embarrassed for things. So it's been good.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was raised Jehovah's Witness. I don't practice anymore. I was never baptized. But, when it pertains to this topic, it's my parents, my dad, my biological dad, and, my mom, they split up. They got married when they were still Catholics, but then my mom converted before I was born, and the marriage ended up falling apart. So then my dad cheated, so that's why she was able to divorce him. So
one of the stipulations, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So, when my mom got remarried to my stepfather, they are now celebrating their 17th wedding anniversary next year.
Oh.
So, and my stepfather, he's a Jehovah's Witness, baptized. My mom, in fact, he's an elder in the congregation.
Yep, that's a big deal.
So
that's a big deal.
So both for him, but in fact, it's kind of funny. They actually do Tuesday night family Bible study.
Oh, that's great.
So it's they do that without fail every week. They of course do the whole door to door preaching thing. So
Did you ever have to do door to door?
When I was younger, yeah. When I was still in it, yeah,
Wow.
I did that. I did street work, just
Wow.
doing the whole door to door thing, getting doors slammed in my face.
Uh-huh.
Grown men thinking that they were being clever by coming up to the door in their underwear.
Ugh.
You're like, I'll still tell you about the word of the Lord.
Pretty much.
Like, then I'll tell you about the word of the Lord, but I'm gonna leave this pamphlet, so it's like I'm saying it in the pamphlet.
Pamphlet? No,
Yeah.
I still placed.
You specifically, we don't know if we can save.
Yeah.
You came to the door in your pants, so we probably don't want to save you. But
get out of here!
Pamphlet,
I would place magazines no matter what. I would be like, hey, and would you mind me coming back?
Dude,
listen, why don't we hire you at Lyman Brownstone Realty and Development? Seriously, now that I know I have two qualified candidates with door knocking experience,
I never did door knocking, but
Jesus, you're
ballsy.
bringing the gift of saving from foreclosure. They're two very valuable, different gifts.
Yeah, but my point is, my mom and my stepfather have a stronger marriage. Since they are in the same religion, they do apply. My parents make it a point to apply Bible principles to their marriage. So it's.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you have to be on the same page with that,
Yeah.
And you're, if you make it, if you build a relationship on something higher and bigger than just the two of you, I believe that's going to make it a stronger relationship because people are fickle and people are fleeting and people are weak. And if you build it on something that you both believe in that's higher than both of you, then
your marriage will last.
I think you're
working towards something. It's almost like you're planting and then tending to a garden, because once the garden is in bloom, fall's going to come and you have to do the work all over again and through the harsh winter and then get ready to bloom again in the spring. And people don't like to hear those analogies because for some reason I feel maybe you guys will agree with me. And Paul, you are not married. So
correct. Unfortunately, correct.
Right. Now, if you don't mind my asking, how old are you?
I'm 25.
Oh,
wow.
You can wait.
And when you go on a date, I'm trying to decide. I don't think he's a client, Louis, so stop it. I'm not trying to set him up with anybody.
I said
if I knew of someone, though,
I didn't.
You better believe I would throw the suggestion out.
I do.
I think that when we originally connected to thank you for being a part of our show, I threw the offer out there. Let me know if I should start calling some churches and finding a preacher's son a bride. Because that is what I do. Specifically what I do.
Yeah.
That's
incredible.
A lot of my clients have, I guess you could say, I specialize in rare finds. This would be a rare find. For example, I have a rapper that I have been working with since I was 25. No, God, 24 maybe even.
Wow.
And I'm 31 now, and he's still not married. Well,
oh my gosh.
He's not a virgin. But it's a hard sale because he's Jewish enough where this is so funny. He's Jewish like me, where we believe in not the oral law, the written law, and we invite principles from the oral law into our lives, such as the descendants of the high priest of Aaron, Moses' brother. That would make you a Kohen. So you are a direct descendant from the tribe of Aaron.
Well, that's
deep.
Or as we like to call him, Aaron.
Anyway, Aaron, the tribe, Moses, for those of you who don't know, Moses' brother, okay?
Okay.
And you can only imagine how much fun it would be to be Moses' brother. But anyway.
We've seen the animated movie. Yeah.
Why can't you be more like your brother Moses? He has good direction.
I'm a high priest, Mom.
Look, he talks directly to God. I don't want to hear that nonsense. All you do is get free barbecue on Saturdays. Shut your mouth. Because they used to do, sacrifices.
Yeah, that's the barbecue. Yeah. That's the original. That's the OG barbecue.
Yeah.
That's the original red cup on the lawn.
Yeah. I'm mad I had to explain that joke to you. Yeah,
the red cup on the lawn or the barbecue?
The free barbecue on Saturdays.
get it because of the sacrifices and
at the
the holy
temple.
temple.
See, I read the Bible. I read the Bible. Did you read the Talmud?
I studied the Talmud, let's just put it this way: at the ripe old age of 22, I became a rabbi's wife. I very seldom speak of my first marriage because I just feel like, and I can only imagine if Paul is coming from a similar way of doing things, you might understand this. We went to a matchmaker. Actually, no, we met at a wedding, and then I went to my friend who got married to his friend, and we both mentioned the other person. And we went out and we basically did standard, what is called shidduch dating. We went on 10 dates. There was not an inappropriate word spoken between the two of us at no point. We did not make out. We did not have sex. He did not so much as physically touch me until our wedding day.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
Whoa. Oh, wait, how long did you guys date?
We dated, let's see, our first date was in the middle of October. We got married in April and engaged in late December, I would say. So we did it pretty standard by the book, literally by the literal book. So that's when I was a lot more sold on Orthodox Judaism. And I currently today am not an Orthodox Jew, but again, I consider myself to be very conservative. I think the label would be conservadox, which you're just as religious as Orthodox Jews. So you're not as, I guess, actively observant as Orthodox Jews because we don't accept all of the oral law. So that's our justification for being different than they are. But my marriage was very biblical and very by the book. We actually also adhered to the laws of family purity. So which I don't know, Paul, is there anything in Christian culture that does anything similar to the laws of family purity?
I don't even understand what family purity is.
Oh, that's so funny because I would have assumed that sounds like such a Christian word, doesn't it?
Well, it sounds so Christian. Maybe we just label it something else though.
Okay, that could very well be it. Okay, the Hebrew expression is called Taharas Mishpacha, laws of family purity, which is basically during your menstrual cycle, you and your spouse separate, as in like we didn't even sleep in the same bed until the duration of menstruation and 7 clean days after menstruation finishes. Then you go to a ritual bath called the mikvah to purify yourself, and you say special prayers. And when you're in the water, it's really your time coming out of the state of nida, the state of spiritual tuma, impurity. So it's kind of a time to like connect with God while it's really just the two of you sitting in the mikvah, and you come out and then you kind of like rejoin with your husband again romantically because you two have not been physically active for a 12-day minimum of every 28 to 30 day cycle.
I've never heard of a Christian couple doing that. The closest thing, maybe they like go into a hot tub like once a month, but no. Like, maybe they at a hotel room once a month to get away from the kids, hang out in the bathtub, and then bang. But
okay.
No, I've never heard. I don't think we have that.
Yeah, I don't think so. But so we kept all of that. In fact, I kept it even to some degree in my second marriage too. That's something that I think that if I were to ever get married again, it's something that I just think is very important and prominent in a Jewish marriage. Your marriage cannot be solely based around sex. People make horrible choices in picking a partner because of sex. And sometimes you have it though on the opposite side where someone assumes that instead of taking the sexual connection too seriously, they don't take it seriously enough. So I've worked with people that, you know what I'm saying? It goes both ways, but I found
you can't lean on either of the extremes.
Right.
And because I have people argue with me all the time that like, you gotta, you got to see what kind of sex you like. You got to see what you want to do, and you got to practice before you get married. But I'm like, I want to share. I want to share all that with my wife. You know, I'm not going to be good in the beginning, but I want to
You
do that
gotta
with
build
her,
together, right? You want it to just be the two of you figuring this stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
I want to find out what I like in bed with her. You know,
Right.
I don't want it to be based off of other people.
Right.
Also, it makes sense because I mean, this person is your wife. You are giving her something that is special that you haven't given to anyone else. So
now find me that in a lady.
Yeah, exactly. I have so many doing because I talk a lot about this stuff in my stand-up. So I'll regularly have moms from the audience come up to me afterwards and be like, "Oh my gosh, I have this daughter. She's 18. I would love for you two to meet."
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Like, oh.
No, I would say 23 would be a good age for 25.
Yeah.
There's got to be a network of girls.
I like to date older.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the last girl I talked to was 32, and she was also a virgin.
Wow.
It's just like, you know, so like they exist, you know, it's a little more pressure, like I want to be married, but I don't know, they're just like more settled. They know what they want more. And I've found that younger girls who are in the same position are a little more eager to like, let's get married right now, or let's
Close the deal. Oh God, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so older girls a little more because I think they've gotten past the hump of, some of them at least, have gotten past the hump of the whole like, you know, getting married when you're 22 or 23 and it's this magical thing, you know, they're a little more real about it. They know what they want more. And I don't know.
I mean, the Duggar girls are pretty. I
both
feel
ways.
Like there's got to be a Duggar girl that
you know also
they're gorgeous, are they not? They're beautiful, but yeah, they're eager. They want to get married yesterday.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you know, those girls from the Westboro Baptist Church, a lot of them are pretty hot.
Hell no. Are you kidding me? No Christian I know recognizes that church at all.
Shocking! I can't imagine why not.
They're great.
Like one,
in fact, a fun bunch.
Actually, the ones that left the church, they're pretty hot too.
All right, I need to.
And girls who grew up Hasidish will go flying off rooftop clubs onto Fifth Avenue. If you know, I say stick with what you know. I mean, my only concern would be like this, because this is something I have a lot of experience with now. Paul, you may find this funny because you like older women, correct? So I can only imagine this is not a brand new area of interest for you. Okay. So, because usually it's a dude that's in his low to mid 20s that wants the woman higher up there. I find that like that 14-year-old boy might have had a crush on his gym teacher, provided she was the hot, either way. Like if you like older, you have an older, you know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, like I had a crush on my English teacher in high school.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, obviously you didn't act on it, but like she caught your eye.
But like I majored in English in college, you know.
Was it because she inspired you, or you thought she was hot?
No, it was like I thought she was attractive, and she was a lot of fun in class. Like her class was really enjoyable. She was a fun person.
Oh, okay. So
it was just one of those classic, high school crushes.
So it wasn't because, it was like, yeah, she's cool, but it's like, I really want to be, I really dig in English because she teaches it so well, or it's because she has a nice tuchus.
I think it was just like all of that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, English was my favorite subject after that.
You didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You didn't just think she was hot. You liked the way she communicated her point. You liked it inspired you enough to get you to want to further your education in her field. I mean, so right, there was kind of like a little bit, you could say, of like a soul touching connection, like maybe.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean,
but not in a creepy way.
Not in a creepy way, but, Miss Schissler, the one that got away, right?
Right.
Shout out to Miss Schissler.
Mr. Schissler, by the way.
Yeah.
We hear great things about your wife.
Yes.
Yeah. We would like you
great husband. Great guy.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, but I found something that I think is really valuable when you have this taste, if you will, because I have a taste too, so I get it. But how do you? Okay, the last girl, religiously on the same page, 32, and a virgin. Yeah. I mean, I would imagine you have got to be so mentally sound to make it through being 32 and still a virgin. And believe me, it's not bullshit when they say that in your 30s you hit your sexual peak.
Oh
it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
she would remind me of that.
Oh my God, it's a different, like, remember being young and doing it, and then the way it changes at 30.
Well, he wouldn't.
I can see physical compatibility. I can see the physical compatibility, but it's the longevity and the emotional compatibility that I find really lacks. I mean, I have had 2 top-notch quality gentlemen, substantially younger than me, actively pursue me, and my only reason is the age gap, nothing bigger, because at the end of the day, I think it's just too big. I feel like a 25-year-old man, like, this is what you find sexy at 25 when she's 32. How do you know you're going to find her sexy? I mean, granted, you need the love there to build with the history, and I get all of that. I thoroughly understand all of that. But what would you do if there was a change to occur when you're 30, let's say, and she's 37? How would you handle that if you're like, oh no, I've been with you for the past 5 years of my life and I love you and you're beautiful, you're the mother of my children and whatever, but now I'm 30 and I want a 25-year-old woman. Now, obviously you're not going to cheat, and the commitment to the religious aspect and to each other is strong, but I'm saying, do you ever bear that fear that you would want at a later date a younger woman, like that your taste would change as you grow into your own sexuality? Through your marriage.
I mean, being a weak and sinful person, I'm not going to rule that out from myself, I don't know, because I am a weak person.
Right.
I'd like to, where I stand now and going forward, I believe that whoever I'm with I'm going to love wholly and not be looking elsewhere, when I get married. But I'm not Jesus. I'm not perfect. So I know that I can be weak and, I can lust and all that stuff.
Right.
So I'm not going to just say no, I'm never going to have any sort of issue with being lustful.
That's that scares me away. Like, it scares me away from it because it's like,
that can happen if her and I were the same age. The same thing could happen.
Right.
Well,
that's where I kind of I don't know. That's where I don't.
From what my mom told me, because I've had discussions with her about this, and it's basically, look, it's basically you choosing well.
Yeah.
Yes, being discriminatory.
Not just rushing in.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, my father and my mother, they were actually friends for many years before, because he was married once before, and his wife cheated on him, and so he was, he thought he was never going to get married, and then, boom, my mom's available, and both of them were strong in in their religion, and my stepfather's like, look, she's very spiritual, she applies Bible principles, and he asked her, and boom, 17 years later, still going strong.
Damn.
In fact, they I mean, here's the trick. Also, they go on dates.
That's so cool.
They go on dates. In fact,
do that all the time.
I want that so bad.
In fact, every year they go on honeymoons. In fact, they went to Paris. They went to Belgium. In fact, they will take trips to go to the Jehovah's Witness headquarters in different countries.
I saw his pictures on the internet with the other white one in their matching outfits, in the red and white outfit. I almost died when I saw that picture. I laughed so hard. And oh God,
proud moment.
It was a proud moment.
Proud moment.
And there's this couple. Oh God, when I saw the picture of you and that other, was that another comic with you in the picture where you guys are wearing the
he's one of my roommates in a comic. Really funny guy.
Oh my God. So in my news feed, that picture was on the first day of school, and your picture was above one of my friends from Detroit who has 2 little daughters who were starting their first day of school. Fucking hell, wearing matching outfit. So
that's amazing.
This is golden. I make a comment that something to the effect of, it looks like you bought them at the Compton flea market. You can only imagine how pissed Nora and Paul were And then I had to explain, thank God, they're
Wrong photo.
They're converts to conservative Judaism. Like, thank God. I was like, no, this is a comedian who's a Christian. We're going to have him on the show, and he's got this funny picture. And then I'm like, they're not going to believe that. So I took a screenshot of the picture and sent it to them in a group Facebook chat. And her husband said to me, he almost drove into the car in front of him. He laughed so hard. He couldn't believe, like, he goes, oh my God, that totally looks like he got it at the Compton flea market. I said, right? 8 Mile and Dequendo represent. Where we're from in Detroit, there is a flea market right just south of Eminem's trailer park, right on the corner of 8 Mile and Dequendo, and that is where you would go to buy such attractive outfits like your picture. And Nora and Paul, you would have to go to like a Kids Gap situation to find where to buy those pictures.
We had so many guys tell us to not ride the subway wearing those outfits. They're like, gangs, man. So we just took a cab.
You guys straight look like in that picture you're gonna be you're the new Beastie Boys.
Really hard white kids anyone has seen. Polyamorous relationships. Now, I have seen, like, it's very hard for me, especially setting up men who are single and, women who are single, and you have every possible situation. I used this example to a potential client this week. Why would you pay to come see me? 2 reasons. It's like if you're going to go to the dentist to get your teeth cleaned, but you want them to be, super duper white, that you're going to pay out of pocket for. Your insurance is not going to cover your Zoom treatment, but they will cover this other crap that's basic maintenance. So I do what a therapist does not do. I tell you what's wrong with you and why, I know that sounds disgusting, and why I think you have not been successful, and and that could be a laundry list of different reasons. But one of the things that has come up with guys again and again is this trend we're seeing in polyamorous relationships. More and more women who are not crazy are becoming okay with this idea. I think it's horse shit. And I mean, what do you think of polyamorous relationships? I mean, they're seen in the Mormon community. I realize you're not Mormon, but I'm saying I've seen and heard of on and off television personality marriages. So I'm saying through my years, I've heard of people that are in Salt Lake City functioning in a polyamorous marriage, and they have no problem. So their problems are different, but different in a better way, as opposed to, now, I do not wish to be in a polyamorous marriage and have my own biblically based and otherwise personal feelings towards them. But what do you do when there's sex is all over the place? It's free. Men are allowed to, at this point, treat women basically any way that they want, and they know they're still going to get laid or they're not. And now there's this growing popularity in this school of thought where, listen, I can love more than one woman at the same time, in the same space, in the same unity, like in the same unit. Like,
I think people just convince themselves of that. I don't know.
I mean, it's in the Bible.
That what they're doing is biblically sound and okay in the eyes of God. What do you think about those people?
No, I don't think so. My pastor just talked on this last week, talking about, like, when people bring that up, like the polygamy or all these kings having multiple wives. He's like, it doesn't say that God supports that, and look how much pain and problems they have in that.
It never was, right? Yeah, if you look at Abraham's marriage to Hagar and his marriage to Sarah, I mean, through his marriage to Hagar came Ishmael, the descendant of, essentially Muhammad, and that's kind of where, that's kind of what keeps us, Yitzhak and Ishmael being brothers, is we still have problems as a result of that. Right, and Hagar was his wife, so it never, you're right, it never says in the Christian translation or in any Jewish translation of the Bible that God was like, and that was okay with me. You're right, it doesn't.
Right, no, and it's just because it lists it doesn't mean it's condoning it. It's kind of like, look how many issues there are, and you read in I forget what verse it is, but it's husbands, pursue your wives as Christ pursued the church.
Right.
And it doesn't say, like, pursue all your wives and all of that. It's singular. It's monogamous. And I don't know. I think people that try to sell it as like I should have the right to, or I have the ability to. I just don't buy it. I think you can convince yourself that you can live that way for a while, but I think it catches up with you and it creates just a lot of bad.
See, I would always feel like Lucario, who is the dating coach that we've had on the show, and Keenan and I had the pleasure of hanging out with a few weeks ago. He's in an open marriage. I mean, I'm not repeating anything that's not public knowledge. He's in an open marriage, and I thought to myself, even if both parties, and again, this isn't something that I agree with at all. I mean, I agree. It's kind of like to each their own. I don't disagree with it to the point that I need to have serious opinions on it, but it's not something that I would participate in on any capacity. I wouldn't date somebody in an open marriage. I wouldn't condone somebody doing it. I feel like there would never be a 50-50 split. The best numbers I think you're going to find are 51-49, and I think that's being generous. I think it would realistically be 80-20, where one party is doing this as a sacrifice, if you will, because they want to be with this individual who wants this lifestyle more than they do.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I don't think that everyone's heart would be reflecting the same desire when women also, we have natural jealousy and rage when it comes to protection of something that's ours. And obviously, during intercourse, there's a bonding of lovemaking and, endorphins are released. And
you're literally giving yourself to another person.
Mm-hmm.
Literally are. And there's a physical bond that, is released during the act of intercourse with a woman and her partner that's also released when she's breastfeeding her baby. So I'm saying it's a similar psychological bond happening there. So I don't believe 1,000% everybody who says that they're okay with this. I feel like you're okay with complying with this, but then what would you do when you have children?
Yeah. Or you're okay with this for a year, but your emotions and your feelings for one another just gonna be plateaued for a year? No, right. I don't think so.
Right. And let's say you get pregnant, your body changes, you give birth, psychological changes, physical changes, you have postpartum depression. Well, what does your spouse do to unwind? He goes and hooks up with another woman. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. I love you. I come back to you. I spend my life, my time, my money with you, but I have the right to go do that. I don't even know what I would do. Being up, and I was married. I have twins. I was up with 2 babies. To think that my husband would be out going and doing that would infuriate me. I tell you, seriously.
Of course.
Yeah, me, since I'm non-religious, I can't deal with that because when it comes to relationship, I call me selfish, but I don't want to share my
sexually.
No. Especially
think about how much our partners would share us with its open season. Yeah. We're all trying to be comedians in different, and we're all actively participating in sellable entertainment. So anyone who would be with us, think of how much they share every day. Shouldn't there be something that just belongs to them?
Yeah.
Because your personality is fair game. That belongs to everybody.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what is that? What do you offer? You're being intimate with someone else. What? Well, then I'm not special.
Right. How does that make us any different than you? And
Yeah.
Right. You're just one of the masses now.
Yeah, it's and especially, I mean, I just to skeeve you guys out. Women carry the DNA of every person that every
guy that's been
yeah.
There you go.
Really think of that, and honestly, and then just to be fair, turn that around. Just think about this, and this is a conversation I've had with my god sister. She's like, I don't want to date guys that have multiple bodies on them because they carry the stink of every basic bitch he's been with. She wants to be with someone that has a low body count, at least none preferable. Because you carry you it's not just you carry that negative, especially if that person was a horrible human being, you take in that negativity.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
And as much as people say, times have changed and, things are different now and women are more understanding, I think that's true to an extent, that women are more understanding and they're more accepting to accept bullshit and nonsense and ill commitment. Mm-hmm. That's what I see when I see that women are more understanding. Women are willing to accept less in a way that I've never seen prior to this generation.
Right. Yeah. Just because they accept more doesn't mean it changes human nature.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, even in the 1930s, if people were in an awful marriage where the husband was, we've all seen those movies on Lifetime. It was horrible. There's still a natural responsibility that the husband went to work, the woman raised the kids, and there was an air of taking care of the family to some degree. Now it's like people really want a glorified roommate. I want someone who makes a lot of money. I want a woman who works. And I think that's totally fine. You should want your partner to be able to be successful and carry their own success and obviously contribute to the pile. But what if she is on bed rest 9 months of pregnancy?
Right.
What's wrong with wanting a woman who wants to be a stay-at-home mom? Women who have this desire nowadays are devalued. They are not considered in secular society top pickings because they're useless. You want to sit home and raise my kids all day and spend, that is the opinion now of that lifestyle choice. Why would you be home not working, raising children? These are popular opinions in marriage nowadays. I deal with this on a weekly basis. I had a client who, he's not, ladies, he's not going to be a client. I told him to check in 6 months. But major family money. Hold on a second.
Go.
Okay, anyway, he's not going to be a client. I told him to check back in with us in 6 months, but major family money, lives off family money, lives in family-owned property, dates very successful women. They date him once or twice. They hang with him once or twice, then they pitch him because he has no work ethic, and all of this was supplied. And he's like, well, I think I would be a great stay-at-home dad. I have this, I don't have to work and I don't have to this. And I was like, yeah, but a person of value and substance is seeing this as a negative. They don't care that you come with these positive attributes. It's like if I knew I were trying to sell buildings 12 hours a day and then hitting windows of open mics and performing for pay here and there, and then I came home to see your 14-hour day with Netflix, I just by default would not respect you. It doesn't even matter that you can provide for me luxuriously. I still think you're a loser. That's kind of where you hold with me on the respect for you front.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you have it and you can share it with me or you're willing to share it with me. The fact that you don't want anything successful for yourself just kind of grosses me out.
Yeah, it's not attractive at all.
Right. But then you have the opposite where you have women who want to be stay-at-home moms and they're considered, oh, well, that's laziness. It's like, no, she kind of has a sense of family to her. You know what I mean? I was home with my kids for 2 years and I can tell you, I much prefer to be in the office. I would not want to do it again. It was so hard.
It's an inescapable 24-hour job where you have all the pressure in the world on you. I was raised by a single mom since I still can't conceive how she did everything she did. It blows me away.
Yeah, I mean that kind of brings me to my next question. I mean, again, going back to my parents, my mom and my stepfather's marriage, since they follow Bible principles, my stepfather is the head of the household. My mother follows. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I still believe in that too. Raised in the church, and the man is the head of the household. But I also when looking for someone, I also respect and admire and need a woman who is kind of shares in that. Even if I'm leading the household or what have you, being raised by a single mom, I understand how needed that the woman's role in the home, and how at times she leads, because you see, I think there's going to be times in my marriage where I'm going to be weak, and I'm going to be, there's going to be a time where she needs to lead for a little while. So I think you kind of have to have that balance where there's an equal, an equal responsibility in leading the family. and not even like if I'm leading or the man's leading, I don't see that as meaning the woman is weaker or incapable of it. But
oh no,
yeah.
No, there needs to be, I think, a little bit of like I don't know if hierarchy is the right word, but there has to be respect for both parents, and there has to be respect between mom and dad. And part of respecting I feel like respecting your spouse is agreeing with them, liking the way they do things, feeling safe in their opinion and in their, in their judgment. And then these things naturally fall into place when you don't have an individual who's constantly having that battle. And this is where I think religion gets really lost, because I talk to idiot hipsters all day, and these people believe in nothing until you start digging at the cores of their problems and you start chiseling away at years of stupidity in relationships. And you're like, well, you don't care about religion, right? No, grr, blah. All right. So you don't mind then your child having a christening in the church. And I don't say it in a disgusting way, like, do you really want your child baptized? It's a fair question. So you don't mind having your child baptized in the church, or having a bar mitzvah or a bris, or not baptizing your child in the church. Well, of course they would do that. That's what my grandparents said. Well, yeah, but if you're dating somebody Jewish that doesn't want that, boom, huge conflict of interest. And I promise you this will be shit you will fight about. Yeah. You will fight about this for years. You will not fight about it today. Every baby, and I want this, and da-da-da, and the kids aren't Jewish enough, and I've seen this rip marriages to pieces. Yeah. And you don't believe the same way.
It can be avoided if you just accept it before you go into a relationship with someone.
But then you have to accept also being lonely. You really do.
We're lonely for now. Yeah.
Right. But I'm saying this is a problem that I run into again and again. You don't run into this problem because you're not doing these things anyway. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying most individuals will invest a lot of physical and emotional time into one another, into something that really, to be frank, you probably shouldn't invest time in. It doesn't have the probability of longevity. And then it gets to these life-changing points. I mean, I've met guys who really do need a Jewish girl, and they date one after another that's not, and then they dump them all like bad habits, and it's disgusting. It's like, because, well, at the end of the day, you're really kind of like getting what you want mentally and emotionally and physically out of this girl. And then when it comes to spiritual depths of your soul and moving forward, you're emotionally vacant. You want nothing, and you want nothing this person has to offer. And they might not have given you anything had they known that 6 months ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're just about to hit our hour mark. So, I mean, let's start making our closing statements. Like,
okay.
Yeah. All right. You want, Paul, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, what
like, where can people find you?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not even gonna close out the show. We're just gonna sweep. No, all right.
Let me close out.
We can.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Why don't you?
We could say a group prayer.
Yeah.
And.
Yeah. Why don't you close out the show?
Well, I mean, you can find me on. It's just my name on Twitter, Paul Schissler, and this website that I helped start, ComedyWire.com. I'm on there.
Oh, you started that? Oh.
Yeah,
I'm on there.
One of the co-founders of there.
Oh, I'm on there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, what are your final thoughts, and where are you going to be performing?
It's just like, it's great to have a conversation about marriage where, it's accepted that, you can't, there are non-negotiables that you have to know before getting to a relationship, especially if you're going to be dating with intent. And you just have to accept those and write out those non-negotiables and be honest with people. So it's great to talk about that. And, you can see me, I'm performing tonight at QED in Astoria at 7:30. Be telling some jokes.
Oh, okay. Any other shows coming up, other than that? Because this show goes out on Tuesday.
Okay. I have a show October 12th at Lovecraft at 9:00.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
So coming up for me, basically we have the last Thursday of the month of October. Keenan and Louie and I are going to be headlining the Creek and the Cave He/She show. Thanks so much to Doug and Teresa. I am actually going to be performing at, I think, Climate on Monday the 19th at 5:45. So if you want to come out, I'm sorry, I think it's Thursday the 19th. Ooh. I don't have to, but I'm going to be performing at Climate on October 19th at 5:45.
And as always for me...
Free show.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Free show? Go ahead. You finish.
What is it?
Who's that?
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
That was mine.
Okay. And as always, you can listen to my personal podcast, The Crotch Shot Radio Show, on iHeart, Stitcher, TuneIn, and iTunes. In fact, go take a listen now because I had a very good show on Thursday night talking about the United Nations and feminists going to speak at the United Nations and why is that a problem? So, yeah.
All right.
And as always, I'd like to thank everyone for listening. I'd like to thank Paulie for coming on. And in the words of Keenan, keep loving, keep playing. Good night.
Awesome. Thanks.
Have a good day.